Please welcome Sheikh Abbas Jafar with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم everybody. I think I've been given about 20 minutes, but I will only use half of that because I think all of you and myself included would love to hear Khalil in person. We have heard him so many times in a remote manner, and we are lucky to have him in London at the minute. So it's a good opportunity to take advantage of his presence, inshallah ta'ala. And also, it is heartening to see that this topic of early marriages has not just been attended by young people, at least from what I can see in the men, but older people are here too, and they have a role to play. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, وَأَنْكِحُوا الْأَيَامَ مِنْكُمْ. This ankihu is actually an instruction and a direction to community, because it is, in the grammatically way that it has been constructed, it is an order to community. Get the people married. Not that the young people themselves are left to try to facilitate their own marriages. Rather, the community well-wishers, the parents, the older people, even those who have seen their own children married, are always on the lookout to see whether they can facilitate marriage. So marriage is actually our common responsibility in the community. That is something that we should appreciate. Even when our own children are married, the work doesn't end there. Specifically about youth and young marriages, this is something that is a uniquely Islamic concept nowadays, although historically, it's very interesting when I was researching for today's talk, historically, the age of marriage was always puberty. This has been always the way of humanity. It was only in more recent times, as recently as about 200 years ago, that the age of marriage started to become older and older. Okay. The message of Islam in all facets is always one that sits well with the fitrah. And we make no apology about it. Other religions have seen it fit to blur the line in the sand that their religions have placed, and to move a line and move it forward and forward and forward, because they don't like to stick to God's word, but rather would like to accommodate everybody and anybody. And then in the end, there is no real boundary anymore. Everything is allowed. No law of God cannot be evolved and changed. Nothing is cast in stone. Not so with Islam. Islamic teachings are there and to be enforced because they are fueled, and Muslims recognize that they are fueled by divine wisdom. This is the second important thing. A friend of mine phoned me this morning and alerted me, he must have read the papers very early, alerted me to a piece in the Times. And in the Times supplement today, interesting enough, there was a piece about why early marriages fail. Oh dear, this is something very, very interesting. And he said, Abbas, you want to read this, so you get a heads up on why early marriages fail. And so the Times has got this pull-out supplement today, and in it they're talking about the fact that if you get married under the age of 30, statistically, the marriage is more likely to fail. Yes, under 30, statistically the marriage is... And I read the article. When you analyze the article, there are two things. First of all, it is written with an attitude which is so poor as an attitude, that it is all about the individual. No responsibility at all. If it feels good, you do it. If it doesn't feel good, it's nothing to do with you. There was no sense of sacrifice, no sense of putting your own needs on the back burner for somebody else. Nothing like this at all. Of course, such marriages, whether they are done under 30 or over 30, they are going to fail. And the main point he made there was that when people are younger, they don't know their mind. They are impetuous. They make decisions quickly